Kit Green and Sarah Platt's relationship is thrown into disarray after Sarah admits to killing Theo Silverton. A flashback previously confirmed that Sarah had murdered the Corey villain when she attacked him with a pipe following the months of abuse he levied towards Todd Grimshaw. Theo fell over some scaffolding on the floor, killing him instantly, and panicking, Sarah called her ex Gary Windass for help. Sarah and Gary's suspicious behavior convinced Maria Connor that the two were having an affair, but it isn't only hers and Gary's relationship that will be affected by the fallout. Tonight's episode began with DS Lisa Swain and Kit discussing Theo's murder case, with Lisa expressing her doubt that Gary is responsible for his death, despite Kit placing him as the prime suspect. She urged him not to let Gary's previous relationship with Sarah cloud his vision, and said she also hasn't ruled out Sarah's alleged attacker as the person who could have killed Theo. Lisa asked Kit if he knew anything more about the altercation, to which he said he didn't and that Sarah seemed to have been more affected by it than he originally thought, lashing out and experiencing mood swings. Later, Kit and Sarah walked past Gary and Maria bickering, which seemed to delight Kit and made him question what was happening between the pair. Sarah later spoke to Maria, who broke down about her relationship problems, promising her that they would be okay with guilt etched across her face. Sarah listened to a message from Kit where he said he was cooking something special for them both, overheard by Gary, who was listening to her conversation with Maria. She broke down to Gary that she couldn't keep these secrets anymore, but he reminded her that it wasn't just her life that could be ruined by her crime, but his too after he helped her cover it up. Sarah later returned to the flat where Kit had set up a romantic lunch date. He spoke to her about their future, before stunning Sarah and getting down on one knee to pop the question. She immediately said she can't do this, and admitted to killing Theo and calling Gary in the aftermath for help. While Kit tried to process the life-altering news, devastated that he had been lied to for weeks, it seemed that the murder itself wasn't the only huge betrayal, but the fact that she turned to her ex in her hour of need. How will Kit navigate Sarah's confession given his proximity to the case, and his feelings towards Gary? Just when it looked like Kit Green and Sarah Platt had finally found some happiness together, Coronation Street throws another devastating twist their way. The couple's growing romance is left hanging by a thread after a terrifying death plot rocks Weatherfield, leaving trust shattered, emotions running high, and the future of their relationship in serious doubt. For weeks, fans have watched Kit slowly lower his guard. Beneath his tough detective exterior, Sarah had begun to see a softer side that few others ever witnessed. Their chemistry had been undeniable, and despite Kit's complicated past, Sarah believed he was someone worth fighting for. But in true Coronation Street fashion, peace never lasts for long. Everything changes when a shocking death sends the entire community into panic. As police flood the scene and questions begin to mount, Kit finds himself caught between his duty as a detective and his personal feelings for Sarah. Suddenly, every decision he makes is scrutinized, and every secret threatens to come crashing into the open. Sarah quickly realizes that Kit isn't telling her everything. His mysterious late-night phone calls, unexplained absences, and guarded conversations leave her feeling increasingly isolated. Every time she asks questions, Kit insists he's simply protecting an active investigation. Unfortunately for Kit, Sarah has heard promises like that before. After years of heartbreak, betrayal, and family drama, she's no longer willing to blindly trust someone who refuses to be honest. The walls she worked so hard to tear down begin rising once again. As the investigation intensifies, new evidence points towards someone unexpectedly connected to Sarah's inner circle. Kit suddenly faces an impossible dilemma. Should he follow the evidence wherever it leads, even if it destroys the woman he's falling for, or protect Sarah and risk compromising his career? Neither option comes without consequences. Meanwhile, rumors spread rapidly across Weatherfield. Neighbors begin whispering that Kit may know far more about the victim's final hours than he's willing to admit. Every conversation seems loaded with suspicion, and Sarah starts wondering whether the man she loves has been hiding dangerous truths all along. The emotional pressure becomes unbearable. Friends encourage Sarah to be cautious. Some believe Kit is simply doing his job, while others fear his silence suggests something much darker. The conflicting advice only leaves Sarah more confused. She desperately wants to believe him. Yet every unanswered question chips away at the trust they worked so hard to build. The situation reaches breaking point when Sarah accidentally overhears a confidential conversation connected to the investigation. Although she doesn't hear every detail, what she does hear convinces her that Kit has deliberately kept critical information from her. Feeling betrayed, Sarah confronts him. Instead of offering the reassurance she desperately needs, Kit refuses to discuss the case, insisting legal restrictions prevent him from revealing the truth. To Sarah, it sounds like another excuse. Their emotional confrontation quickly spirals into one of the most heartbreaking arguments viewers have seen this year. Old wounds resurface as Sarah reminds Kit that secrecy has destroyed nearly every important relationship she's ever had. Kit fires back that Sarah doesn't understand the impossible position he's in. As emotions boil over, neither is willing to back down. For the first time since they became a couple, the possibility of walking away feels frighteningly real. The timing couldn't be worse. With the death investigation growing increasingly dangerous, Sarah may soon become caught in the crossfire herself. Someone clearly doesn't want the truth exposed, and anyone connected to the case could find themselves at risk. Kit becomes consumed with protecting her. Ironically, his determination to keep Sarah safe only pushes her further away. Every attempt to shield her from danger makes him appear more secretive, feeding Sarah's growing belief that he's hiding something unforgivable. As investigators uncover fresh evidence, shocking new suspects emerge, turning long-held assumptions upside down. The victim's final movements reveal hidden meetings, mysterious messages, and unexpected alliances that nobody saw coming. Suddenly, almost everyone has a motive. Kit's instincts tell him the case is far from straightforward, but convincing Sarah becomes increasingly difficult as their communication completely breaks down. Sarah begins questioning everything about their relationship. Was Kit genuinely falling for her, or was she simply another piece of a much larger investigation? The uncertainty leaves her emotionally exhausted. Even members of the Platt family become divided. Some urge Sarah to stand by Kit until the full truth emerges, believing his actions are motivated by professional responsibility rather than deception. Others aren't so convinced. Given Kit's complicated reputation and history of bending the rules, they fear Sarah is setting herself up for another devastating heartbreak. As the mystery edges toward its explosive conclusion, Kit makes one final desperate attempt to save both the investigation and his relationship. He risks everything to expose the real truth behind the death. But by the time the answers finally emerge, the emotional damage may already be irreversible. Sarah has spent years rebuilding her confidence after countless disappointments. Trust doesn't come easily anymore, and once it's broken, repairing it becomes almost impossible. Kit now faces his toughest challenge yet, not solving a murder, but convincing Sarah that his silence was never a betrayal. Whether she can forgive him remains uncertain. One thing is clear, the death plot will leave lasting scars on everyone involved. As Coronation Street continues delivering emotional twists and unpredictable revelations, viewers should prepare for more heartbreak, shocking discoveries, and impossible choices that could permanently reshape several lives in Weatherfield. Will Kit manage to uncover the killer before it's too late? Can Sarah look beyond the lies and understand the sacrifices he was forced to make? Or has this devastating death investigation destroyed their relationship forever? With danger closing in and emotions at breaking point, the future of Kit and Sarah has never looked more uncertain. One explosive revelation could change everything, and not everyone will come out of this story alive. For Coronation Street fans, this promises to be one of the soap's most gripping and emotionally charged storylines, proving once again that in Weatherfield, love can disappear in the blink of an eye when death comes knocking. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Coronation.